Please subscribe to my channel. It happened at a family gathering in my sister's house, a night buzzing with laughter, overlapping conversations, and the warmth of togetherness. I'd always been known as the quick-witted one, the playful joker who never missed a chance to throw in a quip, even when it cut a little too sharp. That night, seated around the dinner table, I slipped back into that role without thinking. With a mischievous grin, I joked about trading in my husband if anyone was interested. To me, it was harmless, a throwaway line meant to spark laughter. But what followed changed everything. The table broke into soft laughter, everyone waiting for my husband's usual reaction, his shy smile, or maybe a sarcastic quip to balance mine. Instead, he leaned back, his gaze moving across the room before resting on me. His voice, calm yet edged like a blade honed over years, cut through the room. "Maybe you should," he said evenly. "Because maybe then, someone might actually value me more than you do." The air shifted instantly. Laughter died mid-breath. Forks froze halfway to mouths. My smile fell apart. My husband had never raised his voice, never been one for anger, but in that one quiet moment his words landed harder than any shout could. Silence wrapped the room. My sister lowered her eyes, cousins shifted in their seats, even my father cleared his throat to break the heavy quiet. Nothing could erase the weight of what he had just said. I wanted to laugh it off, to brush it aside, but his eyes told me it was no joke. They weren't filled with rage. They were filled with something worse, disappointment. And suddenly, I understood. Every small jab, every careless remark I had made at his expense over the years had piled up, and now they had collapsed on top of me. His words weren't a comeback. They were a mirror, showing me exactly who I had been and how I had treated him. The night limped forward, conversations subdued, laughter hollow. On the drive home, I tried to explain myself, to insist it was just another joke. I even tried to laugh again. But his silence swallowed everything. That silence was heavier than any argument, heavier than anger. Lying awake that night, his calm, cutting sentence replayed in my mind until it thundered louder than any fight we had ever had. That wasn't anger, it was quiet revenge, and it carved deeper than fury ever could. The days that followed made the truth clearer. Whispers stirred in the family. No one said anything to my face, but I noticed how their tone toward me changed. Where once they had laughed at my sharp humor, they now approached me with caution. With him, though, they spoke with respect, admiration even. It was as if his single reply had voiced something they'd long felt but never dared to say. I, the joker, had become the judged. And my husband, the man I had made light of, rose higher in everyone's eyes. At home, I tried to repair what I had broken. I cooked his favorite meals, apologized again and again, reached for the warmth we once had. But though he was kind, polite even, the spark was gone. His quiet became its own language. It told me that respect, once broken, is not so easily restored. My punishment wasn't yelling or fury. It was the stillness of a man who had decided he no longer needed to prove his worth to someone who had overlooked it. Weeks turned into more, and regret weighed on me like a stone. I saw how others now treated him, with admiration, with dignity. Friends called him strong. Family admired his restraint. Even coworkers seemed to hold him in higher regard. Meanwhile, whispers followed me, the wife who mocked her husband until his calm defiance silenced her. The balance had shifted. I had become small, while he stood taller than ever. One quiet evening, unable to carry the silence, I asked him if he still loved me. He didn't rush. He just looked at me with weary, honest eyes. "Love isn't the question," he said. "Respect is. And once respect is gone, love doesn't last very long." His words hit harder than any fight ever had. That's when I finally understood what I had mistaken for love couldn't survive without respect. From that day, I began to change. Not from fear of losing him, but from finally realizing the damage my words had caused. I stopped the careless jokes. I began to treat him as the man he truly was, worthy of dignity, honor, and care. His single calm sentence hadn't just silenced me. It reshaped me. It changed the way I spoke, the way I treated him, the way I loved. Even now, years later, when we gather with family, the memory of that night lingers. No one dares to make a joke at his expense. They look at him with respect they had never shown before. And when they look at me, I see in their eyes the reminder of what I almost destroyed. That night is etched in me, not as a careless joke gone wrong, but as the night his quiet revenge made me face myself. His strength was never in anger, it was in his calm dignity. In the silence that forced me to finally see. That single, softly spoken sentence was the sharpest weapon I had ever encountered. And it left me with a truth I can never forget. Sometimes, the strongest revenge isn't rage, it's silence.